You, Minesh. So before we begin, I'd like to invite everyone to just arrive for a moment. Leadership today carries a lot of responsibility, expectations, and often pressure that most people never see. In the work that I do with leaders across industries, across communities, I hear a common truth. Many successful leaders are navigating stress, overwhelm, and sometimes even isolation behind the scenes. That's why I created something called Naked Leadership. Leadership rooted in honesty, clarity, and authenticity. Now, Naked Leadership has a qualifier. It's that you get to keep your clothes on because naked leadership is an inside job. And in my own work as a leader, there was a period of my life where I was navigating high stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And I had to stop and ask myself, who am I being as a leader? That question transformed my life, and it's the foundation of the work that I do. And it's a question I ask you. Who are you being as a leader? Because with naked leadership, I see everyone as a leader. Whether you are a mom, a dad, whether you are in the midst of a family or work, an employee, an employer, you are a leader. I'm curious, how many people here this morning have ever felt the pressure to hold everything together while leading others and completely forgetting about leading yourself? I know I have, and it's not a fun feeling when that happens. So today we're going to explore what it takes for a leader to move from living a boxed life, yes, a life like this, in a little box, to living a bold life. What does that look like? In the world that we live in today, the word agile comes up a lot. The world is shifting and changing faster than you and I can keep up. There's many things happening, constantly happening, and we sometimes feel like we're stuck. We're stuck in a story that we've created. And yet, the world keeps moving. We're being asked to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We're being asked to make decisions very quickly. We're stressed and more stressed. And yet, in the midst of all of that, we're not stopping. We're just rushing. One day, I had my doctor say to me, Carol, if you don't deal with this high stress and stop running, I'll make you deal with it. That was the day that Naked Leadership was born, because in 20 seconds of insane courage, when the world was flashing in front of my eyes, and I knew I was in deep mess, I made a choice, and I knew right there and then that if I continued on with my life, I wouldn't be around for much longer, because I had lived a high life for the first 40 years of my life, high stress from the time I was a little girl until that very moment. And I was in the throes of a deep, deep burnout, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Either I shifted or changed, or the world was going to shift and change around me, and I was just going to slide down a deep, dark hole. Choice comes with leadership. How do you do that? Give yourself permission, first and foremost. You do with other aspects in your life. Give yourself permission to choose. And what does that feel like? As the leader that you are, do you step boldly forward or do you make excuses? And what I learned about excuses, an excuse is like being in a room where no one ever picks up their phone and the phone just rings and rings and rings. So come back to choice and make that decision to choose your life to be different. And the decision is actually the second aspect of choice. And here we are right now, 2026, March 27th. Who are you choosing to be? What are your dreams for your business, for your speaking business? What do those dreams look like 2 years from now, 5 years from now? And if you're decided right here today that you have that dream for 5 years from now, who are you choosing to be? And who is your future self? You've gotten to this point. You've made this choice and this identity. Now it's time to move forward. Scary? Yes. You are the creator of your story. You're also the director. What steps will you take to move yourself forward as you decide? I worked with a client whose life was in shambles, and they weren't going anywhere fast. And they were refusing to have a look at who they were until one day, my question to them was, when are you going to stop running and start looking at who you are? And by the way, change out of running shoes. That sentence, that statement was all that they needed. When they came back for our next session, they had shifted their life, completely shifted their life. And they were moving forward to rebuilding a life that a new life, not a life that they had, a new life. They'd made decisions to up-level their education, to move to a new location, to get a new job and start all over. But they had choice and they decided. So truly, it sounds onerous, but as a leader, you have choice. You have choice to help those around you, but first and foremost, help yourself. I worked with a leader who struggled with his team, and he was putting all the blame on the team until I sat down with him and his team, and we did a group engagement and a group dialogue exchange. Partway through, I stopped the process and I just said to everyone that Bob and I were going to go for a walk to the water fountain. And it was there that I asked Bob some really pointed questions about who he was being. He was in huge denial. Oh, it couldn't be me, Carol. Absolutely not. I'm perfect. I said, yes, you are. You're perfectly imperfect and imperfectly perfect. And how you are being at this moment is impacting your team and their productivity and their performance. You're not listening. Stop. Ask yourself, who do I need to be a better leader? He went away and gave that thought excuse me, in 2 weeks, he came back and he had made a decision that he needed to shift and change. It was amazing. As he shifted and changed, so did his team. But it began with Bob, and it begins through action. And action can be a long gap or it can be a short gap. It's up to you in how you decide you are going to be a leader. And as I close today, remember that you as a leader in your own life, in your personal life, and your professional life, and your work life, have choice to make a decision to act and to ask for help. Because as leadership is about service, and it's about the people you serve. Serve yourself first so that you can be there for others. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Carol Metz Murray or on my website at carolmetzmurray.com.